Good morning, folks. Glad to have you with me. I just want to show off what I've been working on for the past couple of weeks. Started on about the 28th of January, so what you see here is pretty basic, but at the same time, there's a hell of a lot to show. This is Gold City League of Supers. The basic idea here is that it's a combination between Gold Box D&D with the character creation freedom from Freedom Force. First thing we're going to jump into is the character editor, show off what we've got so far. First major choice is something called an origin story that you select, and these different origins will determine which abilities you can learn and how easy it is to learn. So let's say I choose to be an extreme training character. That means I'm pure human. Now when we look at the list of powers, getting something like super strength or super speed, this is much more difficult for me because I'm a human. I have no special abilities like that. But if I wanted to go magical character, it'll be easier. The green means that it's a cheaper skill, easier for him to learn. And then what'll happen is you choose your origin story, you come on over here to your stats, and you can actually fill out your stats however you'd like. Fighting is your basic hand-to-hand combat. Strength determines your damage. Agility is your movement. Brains doesn't do much of anything except allows you to act a little bit more often, but it'll have more features in the future. And then toughness is both your hit points and the amount of damage that you can shrug off without it counting. So if you get shot with a bullet and you have high toughness, it might not even hurt you at all. And what you'll notice is that there is no actual limit to the number of points you can put into your skills. If you want to be a maxed out character, you can. Instead of having a balance like that, I'm taking some cues from Freedom Force, and you'll notice over here, the 23 trained. This represents your power level, like how, well, powerful you are. Trained means you're still a human, so let's say you wanted to create a police detective. You can actually put your character stats into here and leave it down at a human level. Or let's say you want to go up to the Punisher style. Now you're at the maximum limits for a human. You know, you can boost it up to now you're a full-blown superhero. Local League means that you're pretty much a city-based. You're somebody like Spider-Man who deals with one small area. And as you go up, the more powerful you go, the bigger an area that you'll supposedly cover. Now on this same note, we can jump on over here to the powers, and these two, you can take as many as you like, and they'll just rack up your costs really quickly. But as I mentioned before, your origin story will allow you to learn some of these easier. So if, in this case, I'm magical, it's easy for me to get super strength, super speed, and super toughness. That's only, I think, 1.5 points each. But if I chose a different class, let's see, 41.5, and now I'm a pure human, it goes all the way up to 55. So you can use this to control what type of abilities you'll need. And now we're going to jump into the game and show off the rest of it. Now, right here, you'll normally be choosing a mission to go on and the team you have, but right now we only have one issue. And the idea is to put out a number of small missions called issues. Each one, like a comic book, will be 10 to 20 minutes long and intended to be played in one sitting. A single campaign may be 3 to 6 missions, so you'll get about an hour per campaign, and there's more campaigns to choose from, or different storylines. And at this point, you just choose which characters you wanted to bring into the current issue. I'm going to take all 3. You'll notice that the character cost of my team is much higher than the character cost of the level. But I'm still going to allow you to take in the full team just so that you can play different missions. It's not going to limit your skills, but you're not going to get any rewards as completing the level unless you're within a well-balanced range. Now, as we get started, we open up in one of the dungeons. It has a basic story set up right here, and during these massive things, or the massive box, that's going to be the equivalent of the Dungeons and Dragons read a paragraph. It'll give you a lot of story in a small amount of space. But we'll also have these dialogue systems which will pop up, not slow you down, so you can still get little flavor without actually having to stop. And then if we come in here, we can talk to the receptionist and learn a little bit of what's going on here. Wow, somebody's trapped inside. I guess we have to go rescue him. Well, that's pretty obvious. I mean, we are superheroes and all that. And the other choice is to potentially not allow the player to walk around rooms like this, because I know a lot of modern players have a hard time. Well, why isn't there any desks in the room? Well, that's because I'm a programmer and it's a grid-based system and it's a lot of work. So the other thing I'm toying with is having rooms like this, where instead of actually entering the room, they'll have the dialog box pop up and tell you what's inside. While there are actual squares in there for you to move through, you don't actually need to. Let's see. And I might as well make my way down here, and oh my god, small robots are attacking. And now we get to see the combat system. The enemies will spawn into the map, and apparently they're faster than we are this turn. So they're coming running towards us. And each of the characters runs very different from one another. You'll notice Super Guy over here, he only has a 4 movement, so he's a very slow character. But he does have a super ability that can make things a little easier. He has something called Mighty Leap, which allows him to jump. So he can travel in a straight line by using his special move at the cost of his attack action. Burst Fire, on the other hand, he has super speed, and he can move without any sort of, or he just moves a lot of spaces in one turn, and he also has a number of different weapons that he can use, long-range attacks. Let's not worry about that. He's just going to spend his turn guarding, since he's out of range of everything. And the glass cannon will show off soon enough. Now, normally there will be music playing. I've turned it off just because I don't want to put in all the copyright information and deal with that right now. A little bit too much work for what I was planning to show off at the moment. Now, Burst Fire, he has a number of different ranged attacks that will allow him to change the way the battle works. In this case, he's going to step forward, and he's going to use what's called the Goop Bomb. Pretty much it slimes the enemies and reduces their movement points for the next action. And it doesn't look so good for him. Actually, that's good. Otherwise, the robot who moved up would have been able to hurt me. But I wasted most of his action points with the attack. Now, the glass cannon, on the other hand, he has very little defense, but he does have, a useful ability, which I can't show you because I screwed up. Oh, crap. Burst Fire! I may have accidentally punched my ally. And Super Guy has insanely high strength, so that went very badly. Well, Glass Cannon, his basic ability is that he can explode, damaging enemies for a certain range. Oh, great, we only hit one of them. But, well, I guess this is as good a time as any to talk about it, but since Burst Fire went down, he's actually captured, which will remove him from all battles for the remainder of this level, unless I can find a certain room on the map where he's being held captive. If I go in there, there'll be a wave of enemies to fight, and I can actually rescue him. But let's just finish this off. As you can see, in the right situation, the glass cannon can be quite a powerhouse. And in pretty much all situations, Super Guy is a powerhouse. There we go. And the turn, and here we are, back in the hallways. Now, the last thing to show off within the dungeon is that a lot of the events are scripted and they can get kind of complicated. In this case, we have a door that's stuck, but depending on our super characters, oh, excellent, it'll actually make a skill roll for the characters in your party and see if anybody can break that door, open it up. If they're unable to open it, you actually have to go the long way around, fight a few more battles, and get through that way. But obviously we have super guys, so we can walk straight through. And that's about what I have to show right now for the demo, or for what I have so far. But if you guys are interested in how the game is made, I am going to go into a little bit of details on that. If not, thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully be working on a playable version either end of this month or early next month. Well, next month as a game a month, 1 episode per month is my current goal. But thanks for watching. I hope you like what you see. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you'd like to see more of and what you think could be improved. And as we jump over here, alright, welcome back, guys. Really, the only thing that I'm looking to show off is that 100% of this game is actually scripted in external text files. If we come on over here and we take a look at the super smart text, it'll actually tell the game exactly what to do, and these script files can get pretty complicated. So the rifle, it actually builds an attack, you set your range, you set your explosions, and you can set all kinds of cool data in there by using the basic scripting system. And what this will allow me to do is add new special powers at a very quick rate. Now that this system is functional, I can literally create a text file, drop it in there, and there's a new power to add into the game. No actual programming involved. Now if we come back here, it's not only the items that are done this way. Everything in this folder makes up the first dungeon. If we come running in here, we look at the map. You probably can't see the map because of the location. Let's put it here. Now, this one little this one bitmap file actually determines the way the entire level is set up. It'll load it in and it'll build a 3D map out of this 2D image. And at this point, once it builds the map, it comes through here to the actual text file, and each of these are written in a way that, I think this is the receptionist. So it's written as a script file that will update, or that will automatically be placed onto the map based on the actual naming. So 617, this will be placed on tile 6, 17. In addition to the tile-based actions, there are also battles. These external battles will allow you to determine how enemies spawn. So if you want some sort of an introduction movie saying that enemies have showed up, or you want to show a couple of enemies appear, you can actually get pretty complicated using these simple script files to actually determine how things will run. You can use these script files for everything from basic movie or storytelling to, let's see if I can find one of the more complicated, to the actual stuck door. What you'll notice is it pops up a couple of text boxes, then it runs a skill test, and if it's successful, it destroys it. If it's not successful, it says, no luck, you'll need to go around. So by using this pretty simple text file, or these simple script files, I'm going to be able to add a lot to the game in a very short amount of time. And I'm pretty proud of the end result so far, and I'll look forward to showing you guys more in the future. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you want to know how I did anything in particular. I'm happy to chat about this anytime.